Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope you are all doing well. Today I want to talk about a very simple topic. Our topic is morning English with family. Morning is a wonderful time to practice English. We spend our mornings with our family. We talk to our parents. We talk to our brothers and sisters. We talk about breakfast. We talk about school. We talk about work. We talk about our plans. We talk about many simple things. So why not practice English at the same time? We don't need difficult English. We can use simple English. We can use short sentences. We can practice naturally. We can learn while doing our daily activities. Today I will show you many useful sentences. You can use these sentences every morning. You can practice them with your family. You can repeat them every day. Slowly, your confidence will improve. Your vocabulary will improve. Your pronunciation will improve. Your speaking will improve. So let's begin our morning English practice. Good morning, everyone. Imagine that I have just woken up. The first thing I can say is, "Good morning." My family can reply, "Good morning." I can ask, "Did you sleep well?" My family can say, "Yes, I slept well." I can ask, "How are you feeling today?" They can say, "I'm feeling good." I can say, "That's great." I can ask, "Did you have a good night?" They can say, "Yes, I did." I can say, "I'm glad to hear that." These are very simple sentences, but they are useful. We can use them every morning. We don't need to translate everything. We can learn these sentences naturally. We can make them part of our routine. The more we use them, the easier they become. That's how speaking practice works. Now, imagine I am talking to my mother. I can say, "Good morning, Mom." She can say, "Good morning." I can ask, "Did you sleep well?" She can say, "Yes, I did." I can ask, "What are you doing?" She can say, "I'm preparing breakfast." I can ask, "What are you making?" She can say, "I'm making breakfast." I can ask, "Can I help you?" She can say, "Yes, please." I can say, "What should I do?" She can say, "Please bring the plates." I can say, "Sure." Then I can bring the plates. I can say, "Here you are." She can say, "Thank you." I can say, "You're welcome." This is a simple family conversation, and it is excellent English practice. Now let's talk about waking up. Someone may say, "Wake up." I can say, "I'm awake." My mother can say, "It's time to get up." I can say, "Okay, I'm getting up." She can say, "Don't go back to sleep." I can say, "I won't." She can say, "You need to get ready." I can say, "Yes, I know." She can ask, "What time did you wake up?" I can say, "I woke up at 6." She can ask, "Did you set the alarm?" I can say, "Yes, I did." She can say, "Good." I can say, "I'm still a little sleepy." She can say, "Wash your face and you'll feel better." I can say, "Okay, I will." These are useful morning sentences. We hear them often, so we should learn them. Now let's talk about brushing our teeth. I can say, "I'm going to brush my teeth." Someone can ask, "Did you brush your teeth?" I can say, "Yes, I did." I can say, "I'll brush my teeth now." I can say, "Where is my toothbrush?" Someone can say, it's in the bathroom. I can say, thank you. I can ask, where is the toothpaste? Someone can say, it's next to the sink. I can say, okay, I found it. After brushing, I can say, I'm done. These sentences are simple. Simple sentences are useful. We don't have to speak complicated English. We can start with our daily activities. Daily activities give us many opportunities. We can describe what we are doing. We can ask what others are doing. This makes English practice easy. Now let's talk about washing our face. I can say, I'm going to wash my face. Someone can say, use some cold water. I can say, okay. I can ask, is the water cold? They can say, yes, it is. I can say, it feels refreshing. I can say, now I feel more awake. I can ask, are you ready? Someone can say, almost. I can say, take your time. These are everyday expressions. We can use them naturally. We can practice without sitting with a textbook. We can practice while doing normal things. That is one of the easiest ways to improve. We should connect English with our daily life. We should speak about what we see. We should speak about what we do. We should make English a part of our morning. Now let's talk about taking a shower. I can say, I'm going to take a shower. Someone can say, okay. I can ask, is the bathroom free? Someone can say, yes it is. I can say, I'll take a quick shower. After the shower I can say, I'm ready. Someone can ask, did you take a shower? I can say, yes, I did. They can say, good. I can say, I feel fresh now. This is another simple conversation. Notice how easy the sentences are. There are no complicated words. There are no difficult grammar rules. We are simply describing our actions. This is a great way to learn. Start with what you already know. Then slowly add new sentences. This is how your English grows. Now let's talk about getting dressed. I can say, I'm getting dressed. Someone can ask, what are you wearing today? I can say, I'm wearing a shirt and jeans. They can ask, are you ready? I can say, almost. I can say, I need to find my shoes. Someone can ask, where are your shoes? I can say, I don't know. They can say, check near the door. I can say, oh, I found them. I can say, thank you. Someone can say, you're welcome. I can ask, does this shirt look okay? They can say, yes, it looks good. I can say, great. This is natural family English. We can practice it every morning. We can change the words according to the situation. We can make our own conversations. Now let's talk about breakfast. Breakfast is a great time for family conversation. I can ask, what are we having for breakfast? Someone can say, we're having bread and eggs. I can say, that sounds good. I can ask, is breakfast ready? Someone can say, almost. I can say, can I help? Someone can say, yes, please. I can ask, what should I do? They can say, please bring the cups. I can say, sure, I can bring the cups. Then I can say, here they are. Someone can say, thank you. I can say, no problem. Then I can ask, is everyone ready? Someone can say, yes. I can say, Let's have breakfast. This is simple and useful English. Now let's talk about food. I can ask, what do you want to eat? Someone can say, I want some eggs. I can ask, do you want tea? They can say, yes, please. I can ask, do you want sugar? They can say, just a little. I can ask, do you want more? They can say, no, thank you. I can say, okay. I can ask, is the food ready? Someone can say, yes, it is. I can say, it smells good. Someone can say, thank you. I can say, I'm hungry. Someone can say, then sit down and eat. I can say, okay. We can use these sentences every day. We don't need special situations. Our home is already our English classroom. Now let's talk about asking for water. I can say, can I have some water, please? Someone can say, sure. I can say, thank you. I can ask, is the water cold? They can say, yes, it is. I can say, that's fine. I can also say, could you pass me the water? Someone can say, here you are. I can say, thanks. These expressions are very useful. We can use please to be polite. We can use thank you after receiving something. We can use you're welcome when someone thanks us. Polite English is important. We should practice polite words. We should use them naturally. Good English is not only grammar. Good English is also good communication. So be polite and respectful. Now let's talk about talking to our father. I can say, good morning, Dad. He can say, good morning. I can ask, how did you sleep? He can say, I slept well. I can ask, are you going to work today? He can say, yes, I am. I can ask, what time will you leave? He can say, I'll leave at 8. I can ask, do you need anything? He can say, no, I'm fine. I can say, okay. I can ask, what are your plans for today? He can tell me. I can listen carefully. I can ask another simple question. This creates a natural conversation. We don't need to memorize every sentence. We can learn the basic patterns. Then we can create our own sentences. Now let's talk about brothers and sisters. I can say, good morning. My brother can say, good morning. I can ask, are you ready? He can say, not yet. I can ask, what are you doing? He can say, I'm getting ready. I can say, hurry up. He can say, I'm coming. I can ask, did you eat breakfast? He can say, not yet. I can say, breakfast is ready. He can say, okay, I'll be there soon. This is very natural. Family conversations don't have to be formal. We can use simple, everyday English. We can speak naturally. We can make mistakes. We can correct ourselves. The important thing is to keep speaking. Now let's talk about school. In the morning, parents often ask about school. They may ask, are you ready for school? You can say, yes, I am. They may ask, did you pack your bag? You can say, yes, I packed it. They may ask, do you have your books? You can say, yes, I have them. They may ask, do you have your lunch? You can say, yes, it's in my bag. They may ask, what time does school start? You can say, school starts at 8. They may ask, how will you go? You can say, I'll go by bus. These questions are very useful. You can practice them every morning. You can change school to work. You can change school starts to work starts. You can adapt English to your life. This makes learning easier. Now let's talk about work. A family member may ask, "Are you ready for work?" You can say, "Yes, almost." They may ask, "What time do you leave?" You can say, "I leave at 8:30. They may ask, "Did you have breakfast?" You can say, "Yes, I did." They may ask, "Do you have everything?" You can say, "Yes, I have everything." You can ask, "What time will you come home?" They may say, "I'll come home in the evening." You can say, "Okay." You can say, "Have a good day at work." They can say, "Thank you." You can say, "Take care." These are simple but natural sentences. Use them regularly. Repeat them until they become comfortable. Then create new sentences. This is how you improve. Now let's talk about cleaning the house. Someone may say, "Please clean your room." You can say, "Okay, I will." Someone may ask, "Can you help me clean the table?" You can say, "Sure." Someone may say, "Please put these things away." You can say, "Where should I put them?" They can answer. You can say, "Okay, I understand." Someone may say, "The room looks better now." You can say, "Yes, it does." You can also say, "Let me help you." These are useful sentences. Household activities give us many opportunities to practice. We can talk while cleaning. We can talk while cooking. We can talk while preparing for the day. We can practice English naturally. We don't need to make everything complicated. Keep it simple. Now let's talk about making plans. In the morning, family members often discuss their plans. Someone may ask, "What are you doing today?" You can say, "I'm going to school." Or you can say, "I'm going to work." You can say, "I'm staying at home today." Someone may ask, "What time will you come back?" You can answer. You can ask, "What are you doing today?" They can tell you their plans. You can say, "That sounds good." You can ask, "Do you need any help?" They may say yes. You can say, "Sure, I can help." Planning conversations are useful. They teach us future expressions. We can use "I will." We can use "I'm going to." We can use "I'm planning to." These are important English patterns. Now let's talk about time. Someone may ask, "What time is it?" You can say, "It's 7 o'clock." Someone may ask, "What time do we need to leave?" You can say, "We need to leave at 8. Someone may say, "We're running late." You can say, "Okay, I'll hurry." Someone may say, "We have 10 minutes." You can say, "I'll be ready soon." These sentences are very common. Learn them. Use them. Practice them. You will hear them in real conversations. English becomes easier when you recognize common expressions. Don't try to learn everything at once. Learn a few sentences each day. Use them with your family. Then add new sentences. Keep building your English step by step. Now let's talk about morning greetings again. You can say, "Good morning, everyone." You can say, "How did everyone sleep?" You can say, "I hope everyone is feeling good." You can say, did everyone have breakfast? You can say, is everyone ready? You can say, what are everyone's plans today? You can say, have a good day. You can say, take care. These sentences can make your morning conversation better. You can speak English from the moment you wake up. Start with one sentence. Then add another. Then another. Soon you will be speaking more. You will feel more comfortable. You will start thinking in English. You will understand English better. You will become more confident. Keep practicing. Now let's talk about asking for help. You can say, can you help me? You can say, could you help me please? You can say, can you pass me that? You can say, could you open the door? You can say, can you wait for me? You can say, can you show me where it is? You can say, can you explain this to me? These sentences are useful. When someone helps you, say, thank you. You can say, thanks for helping me. You can say, I really appreciate it. These expressions are polite. Good communication includes politeness. So remember to use polite expressions. Don't only focus on grammar. Focus on communication. Focus on understanding. Focus on speaking clearly. That is real English practice. Now let's talk about mistakes. You may make mistakes while speaking with your family. That's completely okay. Don't stop practicing. Your family can help you. They can correct your mistakes. You can learn from them. If you say something incorrectly, try again. For example, you may say, I am go school. The correct sentence is, I am going to school. Repeat it. I am going to school. Say it again. I am going to school. Now you remember the pattern. This is how mistakes become lessons. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Be afraid of never practicing. Keep speaking. Keep learning. Now let's talk about creating in English. Only morning. You can choose 10 minutes every morning. During those 10 minutes, speak only English. Start with simple sentences. Say, good morning. Say, I'm awake. Say, I'm going to wash my face. Say, I'm going to brush my teeth. Say, I'm getting dressed. Say, breakfast is ready. Say, I'm hungry. Say, can I have some water? Say, what are you doing? Say, what are your plans today? Say, I'm going to school. Say, I'm going to work. Say, have a good day. These sentences are enough to start. Slowly add more. Make English part of your routine. Now let's practice a complete family conversation. I wake up and say, good morning, Mom. Mom says, good morning. I ask, did you sleep well? Mom says, yes, I did. I ask, what are you doing? Mom says, I'm making breakfast. I ask, can I help you? Mom says, yes, please bring the plates. I say, sure. I bring the plates. I say, here you are. Mom says, thank you. I say, you're welcome. My father comes into the room. I say, good morning, Dad. He says, good morning. I ask, are you ready for work? He says, almost. I say, have a good day. My brother comes to the table. I say, good morning. He says, good morning. I ask, "Are you ready for school?" He says, "Not yet." I ask, "Did you pack your bag?" He says, "Yes, I did." I ask, "Did you have breakfast?" He says, "Not yet." I say, "Breakfast is ready." He says, "Okay, I'm coming." We sit together. We start eating. I ask, "How is the food?" My family says, "It's good." I say, "I like it." We continue talking. We talk about our plans. We talk about our day. We enjoy our morning together. Now let's talk about the most important part. Don't think that English practice must always be difficult. It can be simple. It can be fun. It can happen at home. It can happen during breakfast. It can happen while getting ready. It can happen while cleaning. It can happen while talking with your family. Your family can become your speaking partners. You can practice together. You can ask each other questions. You can correct each other politely. You can learn new words together. You can repeat sentences together. You can make English part of your daily life. This is a great way to build confidence. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to practice. Practice every morning. If you don't know a word, don't worry. Ask, "What is this called in English?" Someone can tell you. Then repeat the word. Use it in a sentence. For example, you see a cup. Ask, "What is this called in English?" Someone says, "It's a cup." You repeat, "It's a cup." Then say, "This is my cup." Now you have learned a word. You can do this with many things. Look around your house. Find common objects. Learn their English names. Then make simple sentences. This method is easy. It is practical. And it is useful. Try it every morning. Now let's talk about positive English. Say, "Good morning." Say, "Have a great day." Say, "You can do it." Say, "Good luck." Say, "Take care." Say, "Stay safe." Say, "See you later." Say, "Thank you." Say, "I appreciate your help." Positive words make conversations better. They also make us feel good. Use kind words with your family. Speak politely. Listen patiently. Help each other. Practice together. Encourage each other. Say, "Your English is improving." Say, "Keep practicing." Finally, let's review what we learned. We learned how to say good morning. We learned how to ask about sleep. We learned how to talk about breakfast. We learned how to ask for help. We learned how to talk about school. We learned how to talk about work. We learned how to talk about plans. We learned how to talk about time. We learned how to ask simple questions. We learned how to answer questions. We learned how to use polite expressions. We learned how to practice at home. We learned how to learn from mistakes. We learned how to speak with confidence. We learned that English can be simple. We learned that practice is important. We learned that family can help us learn. We learned that every morning is an opportunity. We learned that small steps create progress. So, my friends, start tomorrow morning. When you wake up, say, "Good morning." Ask your family, "Did you sleep well?" Ask, "How are you feeling today?" Talk about breakfast. Talk about your plans. Ask what your family members are doing. Offer to help. Say thank you. Use English whenever you can. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't compare yourself with other people. Focus on your own progress. Speak a little more every day. Learn a few new sentences. Repeat old sentences. Listen to English. Read English. Think in simple English. Practice with your family. Practice with your friends. Practice whenever you have time. Slowly, English will become more natural. Your confidence will grow. Your speaking will improve. Your family can support your journey. Keep learning. Keep speaking. And make English a part of your everyday life. Thank you for listening. And have a wonderful morning.